Fat. We're the Phat Peeps.
Ho ho ho, peeps! Merry Gaming Christmas.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Phat Peeps podcast. This is a podcast where we get together and talk about video games, video game news, and stuff like that while making bad jokes.
Like that one.
Like that one. Anyway, it's D3, the season that all gamers look forward to.
I need it.
And there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff has been announced, and we're gonna talk about some of it, give our opinions on some of it, and some of it we're probably just gonna like bring up and breeze past. Because that's the thing, right? Is that like E3 not everything at E3 is for everybody.
Right.
That's the beauty of the show. There's a little bit of everything, and not everything is going to appeal to everybody, right? So like, for instance, I'm going to bring up front, not a whole lot of Guerrilla Collective stuff on here.
Nope.
You know, that's mostly like smaller indie game titles and stuff like that. And we're kind of focusing a little bit more on the mainstream AAA stuff.
It's exactly
Devolver,
like Christmas.
Devolver is also on here because I don't know, Devolver's weird. It's kind of like gotten itself up there with the rest of the publishers, even though it mostly publishes like indie games.
I'm surprised at 3 for them. Damn.
No, there's more than that.
Oh,
I just didn't put all of them on there. Yeah.
Well, you heard it first.
So yeah, no, that's another point that PJ got there too. Hi, I'm Joey. I host the show, and PJ is my co-host over there.
Hi. I was about to say, but I wanted to let you finish. And it's exactly.
I was so excited about the video games.
I am too. But like this is legit Christmas because not only do you get a bunch of stuff that you want, maybe, you also get things that you don't want, i.e. socks. Plus, you get things that you want with it, like, you know, the relative that you haven't seen in a long time that you love. You're excited to see them, and then you get Forza, the long lost, you know, uncle that just shows up drunk sometimes, and you don't want him to stay for very long, but he stays the whole time. Sorry, I love Forza too. It was pretty. Anyhow, go ahead, Joey. Just trashed so many people. We love you.
So yeah, we're gonna run down the list starting from Summer Games Fest kickoff and moving through the list down to the Square Enix conference. And I will also mention right now, this is part 1 of our, I guess you can call it E3 coverage. That's a weird way to put it, but yeah. And yeah, so we're gonna get there, you know, there's some other stuff. There's Nintendo and some other stuff
There's a lot
later on in the week. So we'll probably get to that on the next episode. So stay tuned for that. But this week, we're gonna start off with Summer Games Fest. Only 2 things that I put on the list here from that.
But there's more.
Oh, you know what? I also totally missed something too. There was the whole Gearbox thing. Man.
I know.
Oh, we'll get to the Gearbox thing. I guess, okay, so actually, instead of starting where I was going to start, I'm going to start somewhere else. Tiny Tina and her Wonderland.
Kind of stoked. Not going to lie. When I saw a giant unicorn shooting lasers, I was like, this is going to be something. And I was right.
I don't know about this one. They didn't really show very much gameplay, if like any gameplay really. And
it's just all the stupid.
I don't know. I always think it's like not a very good look. I shouldn't say not a good look, but like for me, I find it worrying when the entirety of your trailer is centered around your celebrity voice acting cast.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that end, for sure. But Tiny Tina, man, and a freaking unicorn.
A lot of people hate Tiny Tina.
I used to actually, but there's something where it works in this for some reason. Maybe in the realm of her own in her reality, she's much more like it fits. Whereas I feel like in Borderlands, yes, she fit, but it was kind of like trying to shave off the edges of a square to put into a circular peg. That makes any sense? But in her own, she'll fit in there perfect because it's her world. This is how my brain's working today, by the way.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I woke up early for these press
I
conferences.
did too, but for some reason that just makes me weirder. But yes, I think there's something there, but I agree with you. It's concerning when everything's like, I have a voice actor. Um, so you're kind of off board with it. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I haven't played Battlefield or not Battlefield, Borderlands, different B game. Haven't played Borderlands 3. So and actually I didn't play pre-sequel either for that matter. Um, so like I haven't really been on the Borderlands train for a while at this point.
I didn't play pre-sequel either. I played a little bit of 3, which was decent.
I don't know. I felt weird about that series. It's a series that I felt has like kind of gone downhill over time progressively. Like I think I like Borderlands 1 more than Borderlands 2. And then like the stuff they did in pre-sequel just was not really something that I think I was interested in at the
Actually,
time
did I play? Oh,
or
I did
even
play
currently.
pre-sequel. Yeah, no, there was definitely something that was a turn off on pre-sequel. So I can agree with you on
There
that.
was like all the moon stuff and like the oxygen mechanics
Kind of
and yeah, I don't know. So we'll see about Wonderland. It also, oh, and I also want to bring up, we're going to speculate about some things. And like they might have announced things and confirmed things in uh like press previews or something like that.
uh-huh.
And we might not know about that. So we might get details wrong. But like we're just going off what they showed during the press conferences,
Right.
right?
Well, that's what we're trying to do anyhow. I mean, if there's some speculation and
Yeah.
we're wrong,
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? So if I make speculation about something in it and like it turns out that they've hard confirmed something in some like article somewhere that, if it wasn't shown during the trailer or during the presentation, then I'm going to speculate on it. And if it was shown and they did confirm something and I just missed it, then that's on me and I missed it. But
right. In other
if
words,
it's like if it's
disclaimer: whatever the
confirmed,
hell we say here is all to your discretion to take. But we
yeah,
are doing as much research as we possibly can. We appreciate whatever
we're not doing, no, don't say that because we're not doing that. What I'm saying
we're
is
enjoying
the
it.
research we've done is we've watched the press conferences
Yes, as
and
much
maybe a
research as we
little
can.
and maybe a little bit more, right? If like because that's the thing, right? Is that a lot of the time they've had press out to preview events before E3 so that once they like reveal something or whatever during an official press conference, there's a bunch of articles ready to go out, right?
Right.
Game Informer's got something, GameSpot's got something, IGN's got something.
Right.
And those will sometimes have more detail and like concrete details about gameplay elements that were vague in the presentation.
Exactly. But okay, so then let me say, in the spectrum of Phat Peeps research, we are going out of our way to make sure we know what we're talking about. And for those of you that are new and haven't
No,
listened to us,
no, you keep saying that, and that is not true. You're getting it completely backwards.
Phat Peeps style
We have
means we
not
do
done
jack shit.
we have not done very much research at all. I
Right.
have not looked at every article
Right.
for every single
Right.
one of these
Exactly.
games.
I'm saying in Phat Peeps fashion, because usually we don't
That's
do
not what you were
anything.
saying. That's not what you were saying.
Anything.
You were saying the complete opposite of that. You were saying that we've gone out of our way to do as much research as we possibly
In
can,
Phat
which
Peeps
is not
fashion.
true at all.
Anyhow,
Okay.
nonetheless, for any of you that's new here, we usually just go things out like swinging blind. So we've done more than we normally do. Just basically is what we're saying here. But
It's
Joey will
what you're
disagree.
saying there.
What
What
I'm
I'm
saying is
saying
Joey's done his
is
norm.
what I'm saying is if I make a speculative comment about a detail of gameplay that they've hard confirmed in some piece of media elsewhere, don't come down on me for it.
It's just don't come at me, bros. Are short. Too long, don't read. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, the point that I was trying to get at there is speculations about the game. Maybe you'll be able to make your own character and like pick from character classes because it is supposed to be like a tabletop RPG type of thing.
Which I'm all for.
Um, and they have said that like they're trying to lean more into the fantasy elements. So maybe there's like more magical abilities and stuff like that.
That would be so cool.
But I don't know. I have a feeling that this is going to end up just being the like Borderlands 2 DLC, but longer.
Yeah.
And like kind of just like spun out into its own experience.
Gearbox is good at what they do. What they are good at, if that makes any sense. So let them just be good at what they're good at, and if you don't want to play it, then so be it. But I'm intrigued. Looks cool. Yeah. Wonderlands. Do we have a date for that one or no?
I don't think so.
I think it was just kind of a trailer. So
There might have been a date. I don't remember. I wasn't.
I
I didn't pay enough attention. I paid attention to some things, didn't pay attention to others.
What was the other stuff from Gearbox?
Okay, we're gonna move on. Yeah, so that was actually shown during like that was the first thing at the Summer Games Fest, right?
I believe
think it
so.
was.
Yeah, because it was something that stuck in my head.
Gearbox would later go on to have their own presentation, if you will. It wasn't that great. I didn't put anything on here from it. I don't remember if there was anything of note. So I'm going to take that as there wasn't.
Probably not. Someone's going to come.
Maybe there wasn't. I'm just forgetting. That's the thing, right? Is there's so many games being announced that it's like
it didn't pique our interest, at least.
Well, no, it's just like it's hard to keep track of everything in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I half the names that are on this list. I'm like, wait, what one was that again? So, yes, I agree.
Okay, we're gonna move on to other things in the Summer Game Fest. Metal Slug Tactics. I know I'm jumping around, PJ, from what's on the outline,
You're
but
fine.
I didn't put them in chronological order on the outline, but I'm actually going in chronological order as I speak here.
No, you're good. I'll try to keep up.
Metal Slug Tactics. It looks like a tactics RPG.
It looks like a tactics. It reminds me of Final Fantasy Tactics or Advanced Wars or some love child of the two.
Yeah. So if you like those games and have any affinity, or even if you don't have any affinity for the Metal Slug series, if you like those games, you'll probably be into whatever this has to offer.
Yeah.
I personally have a weird affinity for the Metal Slug series because I played a lot of it in arcades growing up.
Oh, hell yeah. Go get pizza and play Metal Slug. Classic.
So yeah, this looks pretty cool. It looks like it's maybe a ways out. They didn't announce a date or anything for it.
I think yeah, it's
So
still in development, and there was some a little bit of gameplay, not much, but yeah, I mean, Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, if anyone even remembers that series, Advanced Wars. More recently, there was another Advanced Wars type game that came out for PC. Brain is just shit in the bed right now, but kind of along the lines of those. I'm stoked about it. I'm not a Metal Slug fan. Personally, the game itself, because it just irritates me, uh, and I'm not patient enough to only have a certain amount of lives. But tactics wise, looks really great. I love the art style, all about it, and it gives nostalgia, because why not?
yeah, I feel like tactical RPGs is something like a genre that isn't as or like it's a style of game that's not utilized as much as I feel like it should.
Right,
I feel
and
like there should be more games in that genre, but
it
there
went
just
through
aren't.
its time in the 90s, I think, in the early 2000s, and it got huge for a little while, and then all of a sudden it just fell off the map, and it's been a good 10 plus years that it's been out of rotation, so this is a good time to start revitalizing that genre.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Elden
Yes,
Ring
baby, right
closed
here.
out the Summer Games Fest kickoff. Uh, we'll just lead right here with the release date of January 21st,
Bam.
2022, which honestly, sooner than I expected.
I can
Um,
tell you Joey's excitement right now because it's the only thing on here that has a solid date put to it.
no, there's other things with solid dates.
I mean, I see like early access on one of them, but like this one, it's the
No, there's
only.
other things with solid dates.
No, I'm talking about for you though, like on our list, like your excitement for it.
No, that's what I'm saying. On our list, there are other things with solid dates that I put down. Not things that I'm excited for. You're
Oh, okay, I do see
misconstruing
what
that.
you
I
mean.
was just going down the list and putting down um the dates for things.
Oh, okay, sorry, I
Don't get
didn't
me
mean
wrong,
to.
I am excited for Elden Ring, but like I'm not I don't know, it's weird. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait. I need to play it now.
I think we're just
I'm
at that
just
age,
like,
Joey. We're old.
no, I don't know, because I feel that to some extent about other games, but yeah, I don't know. Elden Ring right now, I'm just like, I can wait. It'll like come out when it comes out. And honestly,
You
it
want it to be
probably will get
good.
pushed. Yeah, I want it to be good. I'd rather it be good than like
Right.
come out. So,
Once again, it's our
uh,
age.
but it looks good.
Yeah.
From what they've shown, like all the open world stuff looks really neat, and it looks like there's still going to be a wide variety of different builds that you can do. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like it just looks like a open world Dark Souls game, which is exciting. Um, that a lot of people have been kind of complaining about the graphics, saying that it looks dated, and I get that because it is coming out for the PS4 and the Xbox One.
So that makes it difficult.
Yeah, and people I think have a now that Demon Souls has been out, people have played that game and have like that as their perception of like what a Dark Souls or like a Souls game is supposed to look like now. And getting something that is like visually around the same quality as like Sekiro, but just on like a larger scale, I think is off-putting for some people. But I personally don't care at all very much about whether or not it is like super, super pretty, as long as the world is interesting.
As long as it looks like it's
And
from this decade, then that makes
yeah,
sense.
and there are so many points watching the trailer where I was thinking like, I can't wait to go explore that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it kind of has that like, and they've described it in interviews as such where they've uh described the open world as more of a open field, kind of like Zelda 1. where it's like you have open world space, but that's really just a area that you traverse to get to more linear dungeon experiences.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Okay, when you say
Yeah,
like
which makes
it's
sense.
Zelda, then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's actually a cool idea, like 3D Zelda. Well, I mean, not
And
Breath of the
well, I
Wild.
mean, not Breath of the Wild,
Yeah, you know what I
but
mean.
honestly, like not that far off, really.
Right.
You're riding around on a horse, you're not really like climbing things, but you're exploring and you're seeing things off in the distance and being like, what is that? That looks cool. I need to go check that out.
It's so crazy. Like
And
as you play more and more games, you just the correlations you get between them is so crazy. Because then it's like right afterwards you think of Oblivion or Elder
right.
Scrolls. I mean, you're like, shit. It's just like same idea, just different art styles and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I would say with like Elden Ring, it's even stronger because like the things are usually like big castles or like fortresses and stuff in the
Oh hell yeah.
distance that you can see. So they're like very large visual landmarks that you like gravitate towards. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Elden Ring looks great. It'll come out when it comes out, and yeah, I don't know. There's not really much more to say about that. I wonder if it'll be easier. I wonder if
Then
they'll
Dark
like try
Souls
to, yeah,
to
like I
make
wonder
it
if they'll
like
try to,
more fun because it's not linear.
yeah, and just to kind of attract a more broad audience with it.
Possibly. The problem with is it like they're going with a new IP. So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll
Well,
see.
that's what I mean, right? So like
You're
with a
using it
new
as a
IP that,
rebirth for something
yeah, that
broader.
gives them the luxury to be like,
Is
because
it?
with Dark Souls, if they just like made it a lot easier, people who are huge fans of Dark Souls might come at them and be like, "Hey, why did you like dumb Dark Souls down?" Whereas
It's
like,
two sides of a coin. It's a flip really because it could be a really good thing that it's different, or it could be really bad because no one knows what the hell it is, or opposite of it, it's a fresh start.
yeah, I'm just saying that this, like you said, fresh start gives them the opportunity to make that the justification.
Right. No, I'm totally agreeing with you.
But I don't know. We'll see because I Miyazaki has always been the like difficulty in the Dark Souls games isn't because he wants to make difficult games. It's because he thinks that challenging games are rewarding, right? So it's like it's not like he's doing it as like a masochist
Right.
to or like, masochistic for the players. It's more like
It's the
he's trying to harken back to an era where games were really difficult, but once you succeeded, they were incredibly gratifying.
that, and then on top of that, like you don't want a game, especially like a game that's supposed to be an RPG, to be short, and
Yeah, that's
if
true.
it's too
And
easy,
too
it
easy.
shortens it. Right. And then like and innately when you do those choices, you start having power creep right off the bat because it's like first things really like moderately easy, and then it just slowly revs up, but it's like you have to rev up quick for someone that's starting, especially that people that want to play the game and that have been playing games for a long time. It's like they pick up really quick. So it's a real big balance act, and it's hard. So I don't hit them for that. And at any rate, I don't think anything negative against these game series, but I'm rambling. Go for it.
All right, we're gonna move on to Ubisoft. Starting off Ubisoft, we got Rainbow Six Extraction. This is they revealed this previously as Rainbow Six Quarantine,
I believe you're correct in that. It does
I
sound
believe
that
is what
sounds
it was
right.
originally.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. This is a co-op, like Left 4 Dead like. It's kind of, is that what you would describe it?
I'd almost say like it's
Or I think maybe closer to like something more recent is like GTFO, if you're familiar with that game.
I've heard of it, haven't played it, but yeah, I mean anything where you're kind of taking like a short distance to move forward or escape from somewhere, it's almost it could be considered a horde mode too. Like
Yeah, right. You're fighting, you're like
you're
sneaking if you
surviving.
can, and then if you like, disrupt the nest, it becomes very much a like Left 4 Dead. We need to move and shoot things
Correct.
and like get to the extraction.
Wasn't expecting
Um,
it to be as like fantasy heavy as it is, to be honest with you.
yeah.
And also to see
And
more
I
characters that are already
uh
established. I know
well,
they
yeah, I knew they were gonna do
pre-announce
that. Because at this
or maybe
point, the
maybe
like yeah, the Rainbow Six operator pool have, I think, ingrained themselves into that community at this point. Like people really like those characters.
okay. From that standpoint, I can
So
understand it.
yeah, so people wanted to get a more story centric experience with those operators. Um, yeah, I don't know. This it looks kind of neat. It's got some stuff going on with it. The like parasite is also, it's like an alien parasite, and you got some stuff that they don't react well to. It looks like black light, but I'm not really sure it's black light. It might be some other type of thing. Um, and there's some neat stuff like you can flash the wall with your light and kind of see them through the wall. Um, and some other stuff like that. So I don't know how well they did kind of show this in the gameplay that they showed. So if like your character goes down,
Uh-huh.
they get put into like a stasis state, and you like effectively lose them, and you have to like go on a mission to rescue them to get them back.
It makes sense. That's what they did for Left 4 Dead. You had to get them out of closets and doors.
No, but this is like a completely different mission,
Oh, so it gives you like a
right? You
side mission?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
interesting.
like, so it makes me wonder, like, can you like lose all of your operators, or is like there's some kind of safeguard to that?
Oh, yeah, I remember about that. Yeah,
um,
so you basically you can't use them again until
until you
afterwards.
rescue them. Hmm.
Right. Um
And it
Probably.
makes you, it they'll probably kind of, for that reason, be incentive to be like, okay, I don't want to play Sledge every single game and put all of my effort into just Sledge, because if I lose him, then I have nobody who's leveled up to go get him back.
Oh,
So
jeez. That sounds like a nightmare in my book cuz I hate
yeah,
games like that make me think and stress
yeah,
me
and
out.
I wonder how people are going to react to that stuff. My inclination is to say poorly.
Unless if it's a universal experience system,
Yeah,
but I
it didn't seem so. It seemed like you like level up different characters individually.
where's that
So
share XP when you need it?
yeah, we'll see about that. That comes out in September on the 16th. So yeah,
Eh-eh.
I don't know. A lot of games kind of going for that like Left 4 Dead
It's coming
type of
back into play
jam,
for whatever
right?
reason. I don't know why. I guess
Yeah,
it's because World War Z kind of kicked it back up
yeah, I don't know.
slowly, but they didn't do it right. Or they did a
I
decent
don't
job.
know. I wonder if there's just kind of been, because there's also been like the Warhammer games, like the
True.
Vermintide series, and like there's maybe just kind of been a good steady flow of those style of games, and there's just a little bit of a surge right now. Which like there's one we didn't even bring up, the Anacrusis, I think. I
What's the
remember
one with
that was
the
showed during
aliens too?
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
That's the one
that's
with the
it.
aliens.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
on
that.
like the spaceship.
No, know, like it's aliens invading the planet, and it's almost exactly like Left 4 Dead. It
Okay, I
literally
don't know what you're
just
talking about then.
changing out skins. I wish I could remember. Escape from somewhere. I don't remember. I'll look it up and I'll tell you guys later. But yeah, I'm for it. I loved Left 4 Dead, but like I mean we talked about it off microphone where it's like you start getting bored with it and the formula is not new. So it's like how long is this really gonna last for a lot of people? But cool to see, and I'm sure Siege players will love it.
All right, we're gonna move on now to Rocksmith Plus, which is just a new Rocksmith. Um, Notable thing, it now has like a phone app, and you don't actually have to plug a guitar into anything. It'll just like listen to you.
That was really cool.
The Yeah, although I wonder how the latency for that type of thing is gonna be, because in like a rhythm game, latency is super important,
And point.
and if it has to like
I love
pick
it.
up on your phone and then also relay it to your TV, that might be like too many steps.
It might be. I thought it was kind of cool, and I got more into it because I went to John's house and actually found my guitar over there. So, may no promises. May try to like learn something again, but that gives people like me that are lazy to learn the old way inspiration to want it, and like it brings a game into it. So, and I know I've seen it said like hundreds of thousands of people learned how to play guitar because of this thing. So I hope
Yeah.
that it works well. And I'm assuming it will have a little bit to do with the tech of your phone though too. If you have a piece of shit phone, it's not gonna probably
Yeah,
do it right.
true.
Especially
Yeah,
if
you're
your
right.
microphone's trash. So,
Okay.
good idea, but we'll see how it's implemented.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. And but I don't know, Rocksmith is cool. Cool to see that they're doing another one of those. And yeah, PJ might have to check it out. Honestly, I even thought about checking it out. There's multiple guitars in this house.
Oh hell yeah!
So
I mean, hey, I
um
want someone else there with me to make me want to play it, so I'm all about that.
I'm checking to see if there was a date for this, and
I think this
I
is the
don't think
game.
there was.
Just to cut back for a minute, I think it's called Earthfall. Is the Left 4 Dead Alien game?
Sure.
Just so everyone, in case anyone's
Yeah.
wondering. So, anyhow, back to present
All
conversation.
right. Moving on now. Riders Republic. This was shown last year at E3. Um, if you're unaware, this is a extreme sports game with cycling and snowboarding and skiing and wingsuits and stuff like that.
Different. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah, no, and honestly, there hasn't really been a whole lot of different extreme sports games over like there were back in like the mid 2000s there was tons of them. Early 2000s, mid 2000s, tons of them, right, during like Tony Hawk era and stuff like
Oh
that.
hell yeah!
And even then it seemed like there was tons of different snowboarding games and stuff like that. But
Miss Snowboard Kids.
over the years, it feels like that kind of genre has just faded away. Like there's still like the MX, motorcycle games that kind of come out, and you get one every once in a while. Like Steep happened not too long ago, but yeah, this looks neat. Open world, like extreme action sports
Forza
action.
Horizon with action vehicles,
Yeah.
basically. So
Um, The snowboarding looks great. Um, the biking looks awesome.
there's so much
They have
snowboarding.
real national parks.
Yeah, everything looked
Uh,
like it was pretty well designed.
yeah, so this one's looking pretty neat. It's definitely one of those like more niche games.
It's gonna
Right,
be
this
like
isn't gonna appeal to everybody.
yeah, it's gonna be like a sit at home with your friends on Discord, relaxing kind of night.
Hit the slopes.
Yeah, just chill, ride around, do some tricks. I think that was the appeal of Tony Hawk in those games at the time. So they did a really good job encompassing that, but with more terrain.
Yeah, and it looks like it's gonna have a ton of that, Ubisoft style monetization. There's
Of course.
tons of outfits. I'm sure there's going to be tons of snowboards to buy and cosmetics, different wingsuits. Did I mention that there were jets, like personal jets?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that, but sure, why not? It's
fly around the canyons with your personal jets.
we're only living in an Ubi world. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was a bad Madonna reference. Anyhow,
So yeah, that game looks neat,
it's different. Go
and
try it out.
it coming out pretty soon.
One
Let
of
me
those ones
find.
that was out of left field.
There is a date. I want to say it's September 2nd.
You got me on that one. But yeah, this is one of those ones that came out of left field. We'll tell you guys the other ones later because there was one that really surprised us. But this one was like, where was this? And maybe we just missed the news or it's been buried somewhere. But
I knew about this.
I had
I remember
never
this from last
heard-
year's E3.
I had never heard anything about it. Well, I guess maybe it's because there was no name
But
attached to it.
there was a name. It just was like a short CG trailer at the time.
Okay.
So,
I probably
it's
forgot
not.
about it.
It's understandable that you just wrote it off and forgot about it
And
at the time.
let's be realistic. Like a lot of people last year, maybe it was just because the format changed, or we thought E3 was gonna be like nothing at all. Whereas like I don't think I got as involved with it last year, and I don't know. I don't think I was the only one that kind of like fell off the bandwagon for a year, just because didn't know what was gonna happen.
Right.
But I'm back.
Anyway, yeah, September 2nd for that one. They're gonna have some betas, multiple betas.
All the betas in one room. It's gonna be
All
a
the
very
betas.
passive conversation.
All right, let's keep moving on.
I just come in with the bad jokes this week.
Mario plus Rabbids, Spark of Hope, the sequel in the Mario plus Rabbids series.
Not surprised.
Did you play the first?
I either played a demo or imagined I played a demo, or I watched someone play it. I think I watched Game Grumps play it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard nothing but like great things about the game, but
I
I've
can
not
understand
played it
why.
myself.
I can understand
Yeah.
why. It looks cool, and it's one of my favorite genres. I like tacticals, so I don't know why I haven't, honestly. And maybe one day I will. Maybe this will be the one that I take, but it's just
Yeah.
it's just another like game. I guess like as I'm getting older and I don't have the time and I have a lot of hobbies, I'm gonna pick games that really enthrall me to want to play video games. And
Yeah.
it didn't. Like I'm sure it's fantastic, but I've played many games like it. So I don't know. But I've only heard good things. It seems like they're coming out with a lot of new stuff on it. That's going to be really interesting. New character types. The enemy seems moderately interesting, I guess, for a Mario/Rabbid game. Like, let's be real. You can't go too deep there. And the combat system, as in the first one, looks really clean and nice. Don't have anything bad to say about it. Just seen a lot of those types of games. As this is controversial to the previous statement I made about Metal Slug, where it's like, oh, this genre needs to come back, in an interesting way, and I think Metal Slug is doing it in an interesting way. Mario's like, we've done this before.
Yeah.
My thought.
One interesting thing about Mario Rabbids, it looks like they're getting rid of like a grid tile based system and more just have a open plane with. Did you see that?
I
Where it's like your
didn't.
movement is actually just like you have a radius around the character, and you're free to just move within that radius
That's
however you
really
want.
interesting. Okay.
Um,
Oh, I see. Like,
uh,
so it's just like they put up that line and you can free walk up to it.
right. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay. That gives me a little bit more reason to want to play this. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be great. People like the first one, so I'm sure the second one's gonna hopefully nail it.
If you want a safe game, this is one of them, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Good Christmas game.
Uh, I have this on here. It's not in order, but we'll just hit it now. This is what Ubisoft closed the show out with. Um, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. It's being developed by Massive Entertainment, the
Huh.
studio behind The Division, who is also, I believe, behind the Star Wars, a Star Wars game that is going to be being developed pretty soon here.
You got me on that
But
one.
yeah, okay. But Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, you got the blue people,
Yes.
and you play as one of the blue people, and and yeah, I don't know. I think it's a first person open world.
It looks like a movie adaptation of a game. Nothing
According to
more
the
to say about
description
that.
here, first person action adventure game developed by Massive Entertainment. Honestly, it'll probably just be Far Cry, but with blue people.
They're Navi.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
I don't. Okay, so
I liked Avatar, so I have a little bit.
I feel. I feel like I'm in this weird world where Avatar is a bigger deal than I thought it was or think it is. I don't like when Avatar came out, it was like, yeah, okay, this movie is like fine, I guess.
You thought it was
And it made a
overrated.
lot of money because it was super expensive to go see it. It was like $30 a ticket because it was like 3D IMAX, right?
Yeah.
So like monetarily, you could be like, it's air quotes here, the biggest movie on the planet, the biggest franchise on the planet. But like, I have no affinity for Avatar at all.
I liked it because I like Pocahontas, man. Colors of the
But
Wind,
like,
right?
that's the thing is, it's literally just like, what if we do Native Americans versus the colonists, but in space?
The future. Yeah.
Um,
I for me it
I
wasn't
don't
a
know. And
new idea, and that was everyone's argument. But it's just like sometimes things don't have to be new for them to be good.
well, it's not even that it's a new idea as much as it is like, I think really what my problem with it is that people treat it like it's Star Wars,
Oh no, no.
right? Or something like that. And I feel like I
It's
feel like I feel like James Cameron is Gretchen Wieners and Avatar is his fetch. And
yeah.
everybody in the world is trying to make Avatar a thing.
I thought I had a weird analogy
And I'm
earlier.
over here like, stop it. Avatar is not a thing. Nobody cares about Avatar.
It's pretty fetch,
But then
man.
I see but then I see people in comments go on and on about how the world of Pandora is like the greatest, most fleshed out sci-fi universe on the planet.
No.
And this is going to be the most amazing game ever made. And I I feel like I fell in a wormhole and
It's
ended up in some other dimension.
it's on par with Alita, his other like anime inspired film, but for some reason it hit harder in like populace. I really don't think it's that fleshed out. It's good for what it is. So yes, in regards to that, I agree with you 100%. Comparing it to Star Wars is idiotic. Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, the big names, those are in a different league from any of this stuff. So no. But it was interesting. I thought this was weird. I'm not much of a I watch a movie, play a video game of the movie type of person. At least not anymore. Maybe as a kid I was, but maybe that's the audience, and we're not. I mean, Ubisoft's known for more kid-friendly games, at least on half of their company. It threw me off. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was like, really? But good for them to monetize it again. Hopefully that means the next movie's coming soon. I'm on that board
Yeah,
anyway.
we'll see about that.
Probably not, but I want to hope.
Avatar 2 through 6.
No, just two.
No, you know he's doing that, right? That's how he's doing it.
Oh, he's trying to be Star Wars? Oh.
He's gonna film all of the movies back to back to back,
Oh, no.
and then just release them
Cammy
back to back to
boy.
back.
Cammy boy. Mm. Anyhow, let good luck,
All right, we're gonna
man.
move off of that.
Good luck.
Whatever. I don't care about Avatar. If you're excited for Avatar, then
Not the game, but the
good for
movie.
you.
Sure.
No, that's what I'm saying. The game. If you're excited for this Frontiers of Pandora game, good for you. You see something in the Avatar franchise that I just don't. Um, but I'm not gonna harp on it too long because I could keep going.
I don't know. Let's not gang too much hate here.
Yeah, we're gonna move on now to Far Cry 6. They opened up with the what looks to be the opening cinematic, where you get introduced to the main villain, of course, played by Giancarlo Esposito. It's his name, right?
Yes. I'm bad with names. I'm the person to ask. But yes, it sounds correct in my head.
He's in the Star Wars and the Breaking of
He is a
Bads.
very compelling voice actor. So
Uh,
hats off to them for picking a really good person to fill that role
well,
for
not
such
just
a big
voice
game.
actor. He's doing motion capture. Like that's full facial capture and stuff.
Overall, like
That's just acting.
he fits so hard into that spot, and it's like as soon as he started talking in the very first trailer we saw last year, I was like, holy shit, this guy is twisted, and he does it well. So, hats off to him.
So yeah, you get the introduction there to that character. Bog standard kind of. Here's the villain, they're being charismatic, and then atrocity happens, and your character gets away from them to kick off the game. I don't know that part, but whatever, looked fine. He's doing a good job, and a little bit of setup to the world, I suppose. Um, and then they get into the season pass trailer
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Confused me a
where
little bit.
apparently they're going to be releasing campaigns, I guess, where you play as the previous villains in the franchise, Voss, Pagan Min, and Joseph Seed.
That's what confused me. So I was watching that, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. I must have missed like 5 seconds of whatever the hell they just said. And then I was like, why am I
Yeah,
playing as a boss against another boss?
yeah, I don't get this. I don't understand what
I think it's
they're trying to
cool.
do with this
I don't
narratively.
get
I
it.
don't really understand what they're trying to do with this monetarily, really, because this doesn't really. I mean, I guess it looks kind of interesting from a like they're gonna do kind of weird things with the um because it looks like these take place within the villains' heads. So maybe they do some interesting like story stuff. And it looks like they might be doing some interesting visual stuff because the nature of it being uh in the characters' heads allows them to do wacky stuff that are not realistic and supernatural and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But um I don't know. I don't know if like this is the type of, especially in like today's world of games as a service and kind of like adding more content to the existing experience rather than providing completely separate smaller experiences. This style of season pass seems antiquated. And this style of content seems antiquated.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So
It's like this is what I expected from Assassin's Creed 10 years ago, and they're still doing it. Maybe it's just Ubisoft's thing. I mean, they're kind of the ones that started it. They were a pioneer in that anyhow, so maybe it's hard for them to let go. I mean, look, they at least did it correctly or newer version of it in Rainbow Six, so it's not like they're. Maybe it's just certain things that they hold on to. So, eh. But it threw me off. I'm a little confused on it. Don't understand where they're coming from with it, but maybe it will be an interesting new thing. But looking forward to Far Cry with some friends because that co-op looks like it's gonna be fun and the gunplay looks really cool.
yeah, base Far Cry 6 still looks like it's going to be a pretty good time, regardless of whatever that season pass has going on. All right, we're going to move off of Ubisoft now and move on to Devolver, which I don't think, PJ, I don't think you watched this press conference, so I think it's mostly going to be me.
But I've seen the trailers for all of these, so we're good.
All right, we're gonna burn through these ones pretty quick.
Yeah.
Phantom Abyss, it's a game where you are a Tomb Raider, I guess you could say.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's like a
3D platform.
multiplayer 3D platformer where you're running through a temple kind of environment, and you're playing against other players, and everybody is racing to get to the end and get the artifact and get out first.
Right.
And I believe it's got some interesting gameplay elements going on where
Super.
if you die, that's your last run on the temple. I should also mention the temples are like randomly generated.
And there's only one
right?
of that exact kind per.
Well, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
as much as you can get
yeah.
to the point where it's like stops generating.
Yeah.
But like
But
that it generates it in that temple. Once you die from it, you can't try again. And whoever wins that temple gets the reward from that temple, and no one else
yeah,
can ever get it again, quote unquote.
so
Really cool idea. Really different.
neat. Yeah, neat idea. It looks neat. Not a whole lot of, you don't really see a whole lot of first person 3D platforming games. So that's kind of neat to see.
Yeah, it gives a little bit of a vibe of Uncharted, but with a little bit more of a comic booky movement system. So I'm excited.
Okay,
to
now
see
we're
it and
gonna.
I'll probably try the early access on it.
Yeah, I think I want to say that that one's going to be available to play pretty soon.
Right, this summer for sure.
Okay, we're moving on to one that's a little farther out. This is called Wizard with a Gun.
So weird. So weird.
Yeah, it's it's an isometric like survival game. It kind of gave me Don't Starve
I was just about to
vibes.
say exactly the art style and everything. Devolver didn't make Don't Starve, did they?
No, and I looked it up. This isn't from the Don't Starve studio. It's a
Okay.
completely different
It
studio.
literally felt the exact same with the tree art style.
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah, the art style is definitely very similar. But no, it looks neat. It's got that kind of like 2D hand drawn on, but like pop up, almost like a pop up book is kind of
Yeah.
how I would describe that art style. And or Paper Mario esque in a way. But yeah, that looks pretty neat. A co-op survival game. You're playing as wizards with guns. And yeah, So that one's not coming out for a while, 2022. But you can go check the trailer after that.
The
And then closing it.
characters look
Oh yeah,
like
go ahead.
the mages from that tower defense game. Um, well, shit. I can't think of the name of it. It's an older tower defense game where it's like 3D and you have wizards, you have warriors. They came out with a second one a few years back, but it looks exactly like that. I mean, I guess the mages always look moderately the same. It even looks like Vigar from League of Legends a little bit. So that's kind of funny that that character design is so universal. But sorry, go ahead.
Okay, and closing out what we were gonna bring up from the Devolver press conference. It's a game called Inscryption. This is a what appears to be a deck building like card game, like card horror game,
Yeah.
like horror puzzle game.
Imagine if Amnesia had a love child with like a tabletop card game. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like to me.
And yeah, it's got a super crazy like 3D yet still kind of pixelated art style.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, really creepy environments and vibes going on. So I would say that uh, if you're into horror games and if you're into card games, it's probably one that's worth checking out.
This one's for
Um,
you.
Not much. They didn't really show much of it, right? So
No.
it's kind of hard to tell
You literally just see cards
what.
getting dubbed out on a table and you see like a creature of sorts in the dark.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what moment to moment gameplay will feel like, but it's definitely got the right vibes. Also, this comes from the studio that brought you Pony Island. So if you're familiar with Pony Island, then maybe you might have an idea of the type of vibe that you might get from this game.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna move off Devolver now
To the big boy.
to one of the big boys, Microsoft, Bethesda. They come out. Todd Howard specifically comes out on stage and shows a teaser trailer for Starfield with the release date of 11/11/2022.
Very surprised.
I'm gonna be
this
honest.
Being the first thing, I thought it was gonna be Battlefield.
Yeah, I didn't think this was going to be the first thing either. I thought it was going to be kind of more towards the middle of the show. Um, I don't really have much to say about this because it was just a teaser trailer that showed almost nothing.
Right.
Um,
100% agree.
the it looks like there might be exosuits. The ship design is kind of more like industrial than sci-fi, if that makes sense. Or like, do you get what I mean by that? It's like it's not like the ship doesn't look the ships look like they're from Halo, not from Mass Effect.
Yeah.
To kind of get an idea maybe of like the sci-fi aesthetic, that the space aesthetic that they're going for. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really. I expected this game to be coming out sooner, and I expected there to be a full gameplay reveal at E3
Anything.
this year. But
I mean, there's still
you know,
time. It could be just something they're holding for another event. I'd be surprised though, because
well,
this
yeah,
is,
they're holding it for E3 next year,
yeah. I mean, in
right? So
November,
it's
so yeah, that'll be 5 months
yeah,
out. That will give it just enough time for it to be hype. Like, even if they did one of those 3 second bullshits that Battlefield had done, where it was just like, "I'm flying," and it has a health bar, something. Yeah, cool. I know
yeah,
people are hyped
cool.
about it.
That's the thing is there's not really anything to say about it. Bethesda makes cool games, and Starfield will come out eventually, and
Just do it right.
there'll be more to say when there's more of it, I guess.
Yep.
Um,
Take your time, do it right.
Sea of Thieves,
My
A
jams.
Pirate's Life. They're just doing Pirates of the Caribbean for Sea of Thieves.
Overly stoked about this. Love Disney. Love Pirates of the Caribbean. Love Sea of Thieves. I do like Pirates of the Caribbean too, but Sea of Thieves is just one of those super chill. Love playing this game. Hopefully they create private servers. So this game has the same syndrome as GTA 5, where it's like, oh, I'm having so much fun. I'm just chilling and doing whatever. And then you have thousands of pounds of booty, and you're like, yeah, we're going to go back. Then you get attacked by that one asshole. And it's like, I don't want to deal with that. So please make private servers. I don't think that's going to be a thing, but Rare, if you want to do anything for the community to see at these, for the people that just want to enjoy the game and go along with the story that's there, give us an option, please. Everyone else can be assholes
Yeah.
to each other. I know that they're trying not to split the community, but like, what's the worst that could happen? The other people that are playing the game are going to be playing the game. Woo! I don't know.
Yeah, and you almost wonder if like that's like splitting the community in that case is better because
Better.
you end up in a case where like the people who want that ship on ship, everybody hands on deck, we need to get this battle done action of like ganking other ships and stuff. You can have that on your PvP servers.
Well,
And then all the people who don't want to be, and that's the thing, right? Is that I'm sure that there's tons of people, and the primary kind of like problem is that the people who enjoy just ganking people who have no interest in actually fighting back, right?
yeah, and
And
it's
just
not fun for
chasing
them if
people
they're
and
getting
trolling people.
outmaneuvered by someone that's trying to kill them too.
Yeah. And ultimately ruining the gameplay experience for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like that
Um,
5% should honestly be squashed. And if they don't want to play the game because they don't have the easy prey, then get out of here. I'm not a hardcore on that game. I want to enjoy it. And
yeah.
they have a game mode which John and I played a while back, where it's actually a PvP-esque game mode. So they tried to remedy it by creating another mode where it's like, this is for everyone that wants to be aggressive and keep fighting, but no one plays it. Or the people that do play it, yeah, they're playing it, but it doesn't alleviate the one person every single server that's an asshole. We had one person that chased us while we were streaming. If you guys want to see it, it's one of our previous two uh, Sea of Thieves broadcasts on John's stream. Um, the guy chased us for almost an hour, or the group of people. And it's like, we're streaming trying to just loot treasure, and you're chasing us constantly, and we're a little ship in your giant galleon. Like, we don't want to fight you. And we tried shaking him multiple times, and we'd see him disappear for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he'd turn back into us waiting for the wind. And it's like, that's not fun for anyone. It's not fun for you to chase us for this long.
But see, that's the thing, is it is fun for that person. They're giddy with joy. They're having a blast.
Well, I think we ended up
And that's
killing
why
them
it's a
too.
problem.
That's why it was sad. Like, they chased us for so damn long, but we ended up killing them and then just logging out afterwards. And they got nothing out
And
of it.
yeah. Well, I mean, you don't really get anything out of it because, like, well, I don't know. Sea of Thieves has probably changed a lot since I was keeping up with it last. But, like, there's not really stuff to buy in, like,
No, the loot
you don't really,
almost
like,
useless. That's why it's
yeah.
more.
So,
It splits the community to the people that are just trying to play and do the missions for the fun of it, and then the people that are being assholes. Not necessarily assholes, but they're playing the game the way it's intended, but it's kind of in some sort griefing to the people that don't want it that way. And that's this game is such a controversial one because the gameplay elements, not everyone agrees on how you should be playing it.
Right. And yeah, no, like a lot of games like that run into those issues. Um, and it's I don't know. I lean on the side of like I'm like very against griefing in any capacity, and I think
Right.
games should be designed around preventing it from happening.
Yeah.
And like and like anytime that a developer is like, I don't know, maybe they'll be friendly, maybe they'll not be friendly. Like they're gonna be hostile every single time.
Yeah, because they think you're gonna be
Like,
hostile. Like,
yeah, like you
obviously.
create, and it's just like, and like you mentioned, right? And we've talked about all it takes is like one group to ruin a server and like ruin the experience
Not even a
for
group, one person. We
dozens of other
literally had
people.
a 3-man crew that we faced, and only one guy was doing everything. He was steering the
Yeah,
ship at us and shooting. The other two guys were like, "We're sorry, he won't stop." It's just like, it's just that one guy that just wants to go on a rampage. He has some sort of
yeah.
rage, but
And I
I
run into this a
see
lot
it
right now
too.
in Red Dead, where it's
Yeah,
like
that's
Red
another
Dead
one too.
Online is basically unplayable
Right.
because anytime you try to do anything, you get ran up on by a hostile group. And all it takes is like one or two hostile groups to completely suppress the other 24 people on the server. And I mean like Red Dead has other issues, but it's like it I think just shows a like disconnect between what the developers think players want, or maybe what developers think will make them the most money, and what developers or what players actually want.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't there's just a disconnect when it's like you design your game so that there's like a downtime where it's like, oh, go hunting, go fishing. But anytime you go fishing, you get ran up on by somebody who just runs up and shoots you in the head with a shotgun. And then when you spawn kind of nearby, you try to ride away and they chase you. And then anytime you stop somewhere to try to fish, they kill you again.
Yeah. It's just not
And it's
fun. Not in my opinion.
and there is no consequences, I think is really the problem, right? There is no consequence in any of these games for trolling, for griefing other players, and um, so uh, yeah, because of that, it just makes the dynamic one-sided,
Yeah.
and creates a scenario where all the power is in the hands of the griefing players, and the players who don't want to PvP and don't want and just want to have a chill experience kind of just get hung out to dry, right?
Right. It's like I don't know how to fix it per se, but in this instance, I wouldn't mind seeing something where like you shouldn't be able to just log on, have bullets in your arsenal, and be able to just set sail and kill somebody. You should have to do a daily mission first. That would set it back because it's like, man, I have to do this task before I can go be an asshole. Like maybe I won't. Or they get caught up in doing the missions. Maybe that forces someone to play the game, and then they get interested and they actually want to play the game. Because that's what ends up happening to us. We end up doing 5 missions trying to just do one because we're like, oh, we got this scroll for this thing. And it's like, maybe, or I don't know. There's a better way to handle it. And I don't agree with taking out the whole entire concept of being able to attack each other, because that's the point. You're supposed to be pirates, see if you can trust each other and not build alliances, blah 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 blah. It's an interesting dynamic. It just gets old really quick because of the way it's set up currently. There has to be something like, you don't think pirates just literally went out and just looked for other people's ships? No, they had a in real life. More than likely they had some sort of conquest they were on, and they were going to a specific land or looking for something, and then they happened to come across a ship. Like, there was no dedicated, I'm going to find these other ships to fuck them up. I mean, maybe there was. I could be wrong. I'm talking out of my ass, but I feel like let's look more at it from a mixture of a history standpoint and then also a gameplay standpoint that makes it more like you're forcing people to engage with the game at least a little bit, just a little bit. Like, I need a reason to go out sailing in my ship. But passionate about that one. I'm gonna definitely try Pirate's Life. Don't know how long I'll be into it. We'll see how many people sink my ship before I get fed up with it.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Contraband. It's a game by Avalanche, the makers of Just Cause and Mad Max.
This was just
right?
an announcement.
Is that right? That's who made those, right?
I think I know for sure Just Cause.
Okay. Anyway, it's a co-op open world action game set in the 70s. And you appear to be drug smugglers.
Oh, every 13-year-old or 8-year-old's dream. That
Yeah, right.
Disney and that.
Didn't really show very much during the trailer. It was just a CG cinematic.
Yeah.
As they kind of like showed the like hangout, hideout of the gang members, I guess.
We'll see next year.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see at some point in the future, I suppose.
We'll probably get a little bit more
Avalanche is pretty
time.
good. They make pretty good stuff. So, this one's pretty exciting. Yeah, I don't know.
Got a lot to say about the next thing, though. Next few things.
Yeah.
Getting into the deep of it all now. Santa's getting jolly. You know what I mean.
So yeah, we'll have to see with Contraband. Eventually, they'll probably show more actual gameplay for that. All right, Battlefield 2042
Woo!
gameplay trailer. They actually showed this way earlier in the week before kind of E3 proper. Yeah, I don't know, 128 players.
Pretty awesome.
On the new consoles. It's set in the future, obviously, because it's called 2042. Did I say 2142? I might have said 2142. It's 2042.
Didn't catch it, but if you did, it's okay. It's the future, nonetheless.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have brought up it looks like Battlefield 4 in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's a lot of things about it still that I am incredibly skeptical about. They have completely reworked the class system and got rid of it and replaced it with a specialist system akin to something like Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Yep.
Which I'm not really a fan of, just because I really enjoyed how you were able to customize your own soldiers in Battlefield 5. You had complete control over their outfit and their race and their gender and stuff like that.
Like
and you could really, yeah, you could make a whole squad. You could make your characters the way you wanted to make them. Make them look like you, make them not look like you. Make them whoever, if you identify with them, like, and now they are just like named characters.
Right.
Like Call of Duty.
It's just easier.
And yeah, I don't know. I think it's a huge step backwards.
I don't personally care. It's less time for me to invest.
It seems like something that they did purely for monetization reasons.
Yeah.
Because
this one can wear a hat now.
No, just like they can sell skins like Call of Duty does.
Right. They have a
And
hat.
people like operators, like Rainbow Six is so big and Call of Duty is so big. And I don't know. I just feel like Battlefield is losing a lot of what made itself Battlefield in its like chase for popularity.
Yeah. And
And I don't know. This has been the complaint about Battlefield for literally a decade at this point, right? People have been making this complaint about Battlefield since Bad Company 2. But like
but that was a good game.
they completely got rid of the class system, dude. Like that's almost one of the most fundamental things about Battlefield. And they just like replaced it. And so and like now you can just like grapple hook with a sniper. So you're just gonna have snipers running around grapple hooking up to
I was
every building on the map.
When I saw
And
the trailer, I was just like, something I'm super excited about grappling hooks. Something I'm really not excited about grappling hooks, for that exact reason. And plus, now they can use whatever weapon they want as their primary on any class. So you
exactly
just
right.
support sniper
like
that goes to the top of the map and just keeps reloading themselves.
The grappling hook would be fine,
and I'm not above
if it was on an engineer. If all they had access to was PDWs and shotguns, then who cares if they have a grappling hook, right?
Because they got to get close to you no matter what, or they got to try to snipe you from thousands of miles. Right?
And like, and this is like more granular stuff of really paying attention to the trailer, but like it looks like the other slot for your gadget is just a free slot now. So like every single one of the classes can take like the rocket launcher. Like the medic can run a rocket launcher.
Oh, that makes plenty of sense, man.
Like I don't know. I think that they're
Call of Duty fanboy here. This is really cool, and I love everything about it, and I'm super excited. And yeah, no, everybody else in the not everybody else, but a good majority of us in the Phat Peeps are not excited for the Battlefield changes. I am. I'm going to be open about it. I already pre-ordered the damn thing. I don't care. I'm on the other side of this wall. I like the progressive movements that they're going towards, more Call of Duty-esque, and I hope that I'll have people to play with me. But I understand your guys' complaints coming from the standpoint of people that were fans before they started making these strides in this direction. So I respect.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I didn't bring up was they have this weird, like, you can switch attachments on the fly in the middle of gameplay, but it's like, is that the extent of the weapon customization? Because if it is, that's boring and weak.
4 items. Like what is it? A silencer, a barrel, an underbarrel.
Yeah, it's like 8 items total. Yeah. Like, yeah, 4 slots, 8 items total. Like,
that's so weird. Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it's just an in-game, and then maybe they give you in the menu. Or
that's possible, right? Maybe there's a much more robust weapon customization system, like gunsmithing system outside of like inside the match. And maybe we'll see that in like a month and a half or whatever at the EA Play event that I think is happening in July. But yeah, I don't know. Everybody seems to be incredibly excited about this, and
I am.
It's done absolutely nothing but disappoint me. And
I don't think you're the only one, though. I think this is a really split release right now.
I don't know. It's sad because like I was super excited for Battlefield, and it was probably like my most looked forward to game coming from Battlefield 5, which I like, as much hate as it gets from honestly people who didn't even play the game. Battlefield 5 is the best Battlefield that's come out.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
A lot right
in terms of like balancing and movement abilities and map design. Maybe not so much in like the original base maps, but a lot of the maps that have come out since Like all like the Pacific maps are all fantastic. And I don't know, it just seems like everything that they did in Battlefield 5 that seemed like it was a strength in the right direction for the franchise, they have completely like gotten rid of. And like obviously there are certain things, right? Like Battlefield 5 doesn't have very good weapon customization, but it's like set in World War II, so you don't expect it to,
Right. Well,
right? So
my
it's like,
my theory on the like weapon changing stuff that you're talking about is like there'll be a more robust system in the menus when you're outside of a game. These are attachments that you would like actually be able to carry in your backpack as extras in case you need to just swap
yeah,
stuff out. That's the idea that
yeah,
I think that they have. I do think that there's going to be a lot more, at least 8 to 10 different attachments that you can change in actual menu systems. So that's just my thoughts on it. And I hope I'm right, because that it's gonna suck if they have less attachment options than in Call of Duty, which they're trying to copy. That'd make no sense. But I get where you're coming from, and I'm sorry that you're disappointed. I'm sorry for anybody that's disappointed with what they've seen so far. I'm hoping that they hear the general community and things get adjusted, because there are some things where I'm like, why? I agree with you on the grappling hook 100%. I'm a sniper. I love being able to get to high places really easily, but that's going to be shitty. Then you're just basically playing Halo snipers outside the map, and then whoever the hell can get to the very top first is going to be just shooting everybody else out. Or it's just going to be constant king of the hill, and then the people at the bottom that are using other guns are just going to be a passive entity that can be shot at like ducks.
yeah. Well, they just get tapped in the top of the head.
Right.
It's just gonna be like Siege of Shanghai, but worse. That's the thing, right? It was already a problem. This snipers on roofs shooting people in the tops of their heads was already a problem in Battlefield 4. And they're like, "What? Let's make it worse."
It's gonna be a very vertical game. I've already said that, and I'm it's gonna be crazy for people that are playing submachine guns. I don't even think submachine guns and shotguns are gonna be really, really rough, at least at first, unless if they change some of this. So
I mean, unless you like literally just stick to the buildings the entire time. Like literally inside the buildings the entire time
or
where
if
there
you're
is
using a
no.
grappling hook and just running at them, and because it's gonna be hard to hit people with grappling hooks.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm incredibly skeptical about Battlefield,
excited
and
and scared too. I can agree with that.
we'll see. We'll see in like a month or so when they do a longer, more robust
I'd say
gameplay
in the
reveal.
next couple weeks they'll do.
No, it's in the they announce at like it show it's at the end of the trailer, July 22nd, which is when EA's like EA Play presentation is.
I thought they were doing one more at least on the 17th or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Either
No, I
way,
don't think so.
it will be. It will be. They better be ready for it, because I think a lot of people are going to be setting their eyes on that day and confirming whether or not they're doing the pre-orders, which is going to be a big chunk of what they need to see is pre-orders.
Yeah. I'm so bummed out, dude. Like
I'm sorry.
it just seems like they just regressed, man. I was expecting at least the level of customization from Battlefield 5. Like at least being able to change like the tops and bottoms and your headwear and your gender and your race. And they just, here's a stock person. You only, every single medic is this person, and buy $20 single outfits for them. Like it's just, it's a bummer. We're gonna move on though to
I'm
something that
excited.
PJ's excited for.
So excited.
This is called Party Animals.
Ah! Super excited.
It looks like Gang Beast kind of. It's like a third person competitive
Grab each
beat
other,
'em
throw
up.
each other off the
Yeah,
map.
yeah,
beat the crap out of each other. There's objectives where you take like giant gummy bears and drop them down a hole and get points for your team, and it's just like a very fun. It's kind of like Human Fall Flat, kind of like the delivery service game, where you're floppy people and you kind of control their arms by swinging them around and crap. It's adorable and it looks fucking hilarious and fun. It's gonna be a fun stream game if I can get everybody on board for it, which I think it's coming out on Game Pass day one. I think. Don't quote me on that. And if it is, we all have that anyhow, so this is happening. I actually watched when it was in beta or alpha, where it was PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye and everybody, all the big streamers were playing it, and I fell in love with it. And I think this is going to be one of those super chill, have fun games where we kind of just yell at each other obscenities and calling each other jackasses and stuff. So if you want a fun party game to play with friends either in person or online, go for this game, dude. I'm happy they finally put an announcement date on it. I kept looking at it.
I'm going to keep going. Oh, and also, I'm going to reiterate, we have skipped things. We're not going over everything from the conference, right? So, like, they showed 12 minutes, which I'll say is, like, again, come on, when's that game coming out? Psychonauts 2 looked good. I don't know. There's not really much to say about it, but it's Psychonauts. 3D platforming looks good.
Cult classic,
I don't know.
going popular. Get it.
It looks like a lot of different gameplay elements. Like, there's a lot of variety to the gameplay from the trailer, it seemed. So, hopefully that ends up being pretty good. I do want to mention Fallout 76 is not dead, and they are continuing to update it. Still committed to that. So, good for them. Okay. Halo happened.
Oh, that's not even close to the theme. Sorry, I was like typing out time and I'm like, oh, I should do the Halo theme right now, and brain did not catch up to that situation.
Yeah, so they didn't really show much.
Nope.
For Halo
like,
Infinite.
We reformed the graphics and now they don't look like poo. But is the gameplay poo? We don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, no, they showed a cinematic. It looks like there's a new Cortana, probably not named Cortana.
No, he said her name, but I don't remember it.
Oh, did he? I didn't catch that.
It's based off of, because it's not Dr. Halsey anymore.
And yeah, I don't know. Like PJ said, the graphics look a lot better. It looks like the open world looks significantly better. And then they also showed multiplayer, which
hype
looks a lot like Halo multiplayer. You know,
the grappling hook. I don't know if it's the grappling hook, but that it works in Halo because it's a fast-moving game, and I like the fact that you can grab shit out of midair with it, or grab stuff off the ground, and that you can pull yourself around. Like it will add a new interesting dimension to the game, but I need to see more gunplay first.
Yeah,
I'm committed.
I'm sure there's tons of elements that I'm missing because I haven't played Halo in a long time. But it looks like there's quite a few new pieces of equipment. Maybe like there's a new kind of like wall. I don't want to call it a bubble shield, but like a bubble shield, but just a wall.
Yeah.
That looks like you can maybe like shoot panels out of to shoot through the center of. I don't know. Or the enemies can shoot it out to shoot at you. A lot of like classic cosmetics for the armor and stuff. I definitely saw stuff from like Halo 3 and Recon, not Recon, I'm sorry, ODST is that game. And Reach is the R game that I'm looking for. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that might be pretty cool. It's also, they announced free to play So like the multiplayer portion of the game is going to be free to play.
What?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't catch that?
I did not, but I kind of also wanted to have the effect. Like, what? No, but that's
Yeah.
crazy. Good for them. That's a really smart move. I really like the grappling hook onto the vehicles. Holy shit, I'm kind of caught up on that. But yeah, damn, that's a bold move and a smart move on their part. And of course, Blood Gulch coming back is also a very smart thing.
Also, yeah, so like PJ mentioned, there's the grappling hook, but well, I guess what I was getting at, right? So with grappling hook, you can grab weapons. Like if you see something like a power weapon, you can grapple hook it and pull it towards you. It
Right.
also appears that you can just like launch weapons with explosives.
Yep.
Like it looks like he throws a sticky grenade behind the sword to like launch the plasma sword to himself as he's like jumping through the air.
There's physics,
Uh,
which is gonna be
yeah,
really cool.
yeah, it's definitely going to add a new dynamic to the Halo multiplayer sandbox.
And you can just throw the explosives once you grab them with the grappling hook. This is gonna be so. I'm cool about this right now because like the last one I played was 5, and there was something off-putting about the Halo 5 maps, and it just felt like I was playing Halo 2 with better graphics. And there's nothing wrong with that. Halo 2 is a fantastic game, but I put in probably close to 100 days of gameplay on that already. I need something new. So this will be something different, I hope. And I'm stoked to see it, and maybe this will get me back into Halo. Let's do it.
Yeah, Halo's looking pretty good. Next couple we're gonna burn through quick. I'm not even sure why I put this on here. Diablo II Resurrected.
Woo.
They announced the release date for it, uh, which is September 23rd. I kind of feel weird about Diablo 2. It's another one of those things where everybody around me seems to be incredibly excited about it,
Not me.
and I look at it and I go, "Man, this looks old." Right? Not from like a visual standpoint, obviously, because it's like remastered and has like updated visuals and stuff, but just from a point of like where action like isometric action RPGs are now to like what where they were then. And I'm I have a feeling, I don't know this obviously because I don't know anything about Diablo 2 really, but I have a feeling that there's a lot of like quality of life things that have kind of happened over the years of action RPGs coming out
That
and the
will be
genre
present.
existing that just aren't going to be present
Right.
in Diablo 2, right? Like one that I know right off the back of my head is like potions, right? Potions take up inventory space in Diablo 2.
Yeah, instead of being
So like you don't,
refillable or
instead
just
of being like a
rechargeable.
refillable timed consumable, and it's like, yeah, I'm sure, and I actually have had a friend of mine who is like a fan of the classic series give me a whole spiel about how like, oh man, it's part of the core gameplay and stuff. But as somebody who has never played it and has only played more modern approaches to the genre, I just see that as being like pointlessly hindering
Right.
and
And a nuisance.
annoyingly frustrating
Right.
and a potential, just a potential annoyance.
We definitely have someone in our friend group that is all about this though. He's been asking for Diablo 2 again for years because he hated Diablo 3. So there's an audience for it. I'm good for them for doing something about the people that are asking for it. I'm not on board though. Don't care for Diablo.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that it's gonna do fine because it already has that like built-in fan base.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not as interested into it, and I wonder if I have a feeling a lot of people who have never played it before but have played other things like maybe Path of Exile or um, Torchlight or something like that, or Diablo 3 even, will pick it up and try it and just bounce right off of it because elements of it are too esoteric or they're just not forgiving.
Yeah. You're gonna be playing it for nostalgia, and then you're gonna stop playing it because nostalgia's gonna die.
You're gonna get tired of doing ball runs looking for
Potions.
uh SOJs.
Yeah. Eh.
Okay. Uh moving on now. A Plague Tale Requiem.
It was a noticeable trailer, and right away, as soon as we saw rats, we were like, "Holy shit, that's Plague Tale!" So, gotta give them at least they're identifiable.
Yeah, I didn't play this one, but I know that the people who did were really, really into it. So, yeah, great,
Dishonored
great for the
vibes.
team.
I don't know why.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, just yeah, I'm kind of from the well, I don't know, because Dishonored also had a plague going on in it,
Yeah, I think that's exactly what.
and there were a lot of rats.
And it's like
So
medieval type of weaponry and armor.
yeah, like Victorian medieval kind of like
Yeah.
weird amalgamation. Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, they didn't really show much. They just showed a cinematic trailer. So yeah, that's coming eventually. 2022 for that. Xbox, PC,
Game Pass.
Game Pass, yeah, blah 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 blah.
I'm super happy that about 80% of the games that they showed at their own presser are going to be on Game Pass for everything day one. So, hats off to Microsoft. They're actually sticking to their guns.
Yeah. And like we've discussed before, right? It's core to Microsoft's
New
plan.
strategy.
Right? Is they get you in on this subscription service.
Right, exactly.
You buy their console, buy a PC, get in at $10, $15 a month, and they got recurring revenue from their player base. And I don't know, I think it's a win-win for everybody because I think that Game Pass is a good deal for consumers as well, right? So if Microsoft somehow is making money off of it and it is as decent of a service as it is, then more power to them. Keep it going. All right, we're gonna move on now to Far Cry 6. Actual gameplay was shown during the Microsoft conference, which I think I don't know if I brought up, but at the time I thought was weird that there was no gameplay during the Ubisoft conference. But at the time I was like, it'll probably be at Microsoft's. And sure enough, yeah, it was at Microsoft's. Although honestly, not even much longer of a gameplay trailer than the original.
Yeah, we
like reveal trailer.
Basically everything except for like a different pet.
Yeah, like I was expecting a little bit more than what we got here in this trailer. But still, more gameplay.
Yeah.
Gameplay of Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 it looks good. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see about Far Cry 6. I think it's going to be a pretty good one. I'm pretty excited for it. Hopefully it has 4-player co-op. They haven't really said anything about that.
It better. Otherwise, I'm not
getting
it. That's the reason why I play NEO. But
okay.
Machines everywhere.
Machines. Yeah, we're gonna move through the next couple probably pretty quick because I don't think we have a whole lot to say about them. But Atomic Heart was shown.
Trippy as fuck.
I think they said it was going to be on Game Pass. If you're not familiar, it's like a survival shooter. Takes place in the Soviet Union. And I'm reading from the description on the trailer. Takes place in the Soviet Union in an alternate reality sometime in 1955, where technology like the internet, holograms, and robots have already been invented. And apparently, you go into like a manufacturing facility that's gone like like silent. Nobody's heard from them. Yeah. So you're going in to check it out, find out what happened there. This has been shown a lot for a long time. It's been a lot of shows. Um, looks neat. I've thought that this looked neat every single time I've seen it. The like environments, that kind of like futuristic Soviet design, I always thought was really interesting and striking. So I think that one is one to look out for.
Yep.
Then we got Replaced. This is a, if I remember correctly,
Side scroller,
yes,
pixelated.
yes, 2.5D. They refer to it as a sci-fi retro futuristic action platformer.
Indecisive title or genre.
Yeah, it has a super striking like pixel art graphical style, but mixed with high definition lighting.
Yeah.
And it's real interesting and kind of weird to look at.
Looks cool.
Yeah, retro futuristic. It's kind of got some like Blade Runner vibes a little bit.
Yeah, a mixture with like the other like big. I don't know. This genre of the 2.5 pixelated graphics is just huge right now. I feel like it's every week I see something new on it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it looks real neat. Really, really striking art style, like I said.
Not much else to say about it. The gameplay is
Yeah.
pretty normal for this genre, but just
Yeah, that
different
type
approach to
of
the art.
2D, 2.5D side scrolling beat 'em up. You know, platforming puzzler, that type of jam. Coming in 2022. Then we got updates for Grounded. I don't even think we need to say much about this. There's
Yeah. It
more stuff coming to Grounded.
There's mushrooms and
Yeah,
the map
and
gets
you
a
can
little bit
sit
more
now.
dense, and there's more stuff to create and new enemies, I think. That's it. Nothing huge.
I know you guys were playing a bit of that. Maybe you guys can jump back into it.
Maybe. I'm going to give it another try, but I'm going to wait a few updates. I feel like the updates are just too small for the game.
Yeah, they're just not making substantial enough
No.
enhancements as they go.
Or in alpha or whatever. It needs to get released, and there needs to be everything ready for the game. The end game is literally nothing.
All right. All right, moving on. We got Eiyuden Chronicle. Do I pronounce that right?
My Japanese isn't that great.
Eiyuden Chronicle.
I'm going to say you're right.
I'm going to hope that I'm right. Anyway, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes.
Super cool looking.
It's a JRPG, and it looks pretty. Like, yeah, I don't know. The art style is, again, 2.5D, again, with the, like you mentioned, a lot of games are kind of doing that. This one doesn't have pixelated environments. It's got 3D environments with pixel art characters. Really, really kind of interesting, crazy looking battle scenes for a turn-based JRPG. Looks really, really interesting visually. So
it's got
that's definitely
Force all over it for me.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those like kind of out of left field games from this conference. That's not coming out until 2023.
Yeah.
That's like a ways off. But there is one called Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, which is coming out in 2022, that looks less of a RPG and more of a like beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Like a 2D side scrolling beat 'em up.
Doesn't hit me as hard as the other one did. Like, it didn't catch my eye, and it was kind of like the last 10-20 seconds of the trailer. It's just like, oh, and by the way, we're letting this one out too sooner. It's just, what? Hello?
Yeah,
It's
very
different
weird.
games. It felt really odd. So I'm looking for Eiyuden Chronicle.
100 Heroes.
100 Heroes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that one. The first one, cool, whatever. This one is
Okay.
a big left field here.
This was a weird one. So they announced the Outer Worlds 2, which of course is the space RPG made by Obsidian. Didn't really show anything for it. Just showed like a CG cinematic, goofy trailer.
Funny voiceover.
Announcing the game. I don't know. This seemed weird to me, especially with like Starfield early in the presentation to announce this, which is probably like even farther out. Kind of felt, I don't know. It just like felt like they were competing with themselves in a lot of ways. And a lot of people thought this from the get-go when they picked up Bethesda and already had Obsidian, right? You have two companies that kind of make the same style of video game. And but then I thought about it and I could see a scenario where like we have Starfield. Well, I was going to say we have Starfield coming out soon, right? And something that was not shown at all here was Avowed, which I believe was announced last year, which is the fantasy RPG that Obsidian is working on based on the universe from their Pillars of Eternity franchise. So that is obviously going to be something much closer to like an Elder Scrolls in its fantasy setting. So I'm thinking probably what is happening here is that we're going to see Avowed or maybe kind of like a staggering of releases of like we get Starfield in 2022 and then we get Avowed in 2023. And you hit the like we get sci-fi, we get fantasy. And then or maybe we get like Avowed and Starfield at around the same time. Right? So you kind of got like Microsoft has like both fields covered. Like if you want this style of game, we got space for you, and we also got like wizards and orcs and goblins and stuff.
And if you don't like
and
that,
then down
4 years we'll have the same thing but opposite.
Same thing but opposite, right? You get Elder Scrolls from Bethesda, and you get Outer Worlds 2 from Obsidian, and yeah, I don't know. Where's Fallout fit into all of this? Fallout should just be given back to Obsidian.
Yeah.
Is where I stand on that one. No, but like realistically, I would genuinely like to see Obsidian get the chance to do another Fallout game. Not to say that I don't like Bethesda's Fallouts, right? Like I genuinely enjoy Fallout 4. But it's not Fallout New Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't really play.
No, you don't know what I mean.
I don't.
I get that. Yeah.
Anyone
but
that's a fan out there for sure. I played 2. I think that was the extent of my Fallout knowledge and endeavors in there. It just wasn't my type of game. I don't like getting bum rushed by mutants.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna burn through Microsoft here. There's only 2 more things. Forza Horizon 5.
Too long.
It's taking place in Mexico. Yeah, no, the presentation for it was way longer than it needed to be, in my opinion.
Super pretty, didn't care.
But yeah, I played that day one on Game Pass. I don't remember, was there a release date? I believe there was November 9th.
Yeah, I was supposed to say November. So
this one's coming out pretty soon.
As usual.
Yeah. Car game for car people.
Yep.
I don't know. I actually like open world racing games. So maybe something that I give a chance down the road if I have like a PC to play it on.
Yeah. Super pretty. It will destroy your computer. More than likely.
All right. They closed out the show with a game called Redfall. This is coming from Bethesda and specifically Arcane Studios Austin. It appears to be a, well, it says here in the description on the YouTube video, open world co-op first person shooter
Oh,
coming out summer 2022.
I thought it was gonna be like a Left 4 Dead type of vampire game. Mm. I don't know about open world shooters; those don't usually do too well.
Yeah, I know, right? Those open world shooters like Far Cry, that never did good, huh?
Uh,
Or
Definitely not.
Fallout 4 for that matter.
No, okay, so it depends on how the approach they take for this. Because if it's an open world, I don't know. I don't know, man. It just feels weird to me. It's going to be. It feels like a game just based off the trailer that needs to be on rails. That's my opinion. And I feel like
Yeah,
it's gonna
but
throw it off by being open world. That's what I mean by that.
it depends though, right? Because like it depends on what style of game it is. Now reading this, I'm actually saying that, or getting the impression, I should say, that it's probably going to be more of a RPG-esque experience where you're going to certain areas to like get certain components to get upgrades and stuff like that, and maybe tackling certain things in the open world. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I definitely see your point though, with like, especially from the trailer, it seems more linear fashion, similar to something like a Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I mean it could go though. It could be a loot based game too, like Destiny though, and it might work. Just instead of aliens, you're fighting vampires. I don't know. There's a lot of options. We got to see a lot more on it. I'm interested in it to an extent, just because it's cool that the main characters have powers against vampires too. Uh,
Right.
so there's definitely some interest peaked in me, but it's kind of interest in the wrong way. It's like I want to be devil's advocate against this game, but I hope they prove me wrong. I like being proved wrong. I was definitely proved wrong in Battlefield senses, even though everyone else disagrees with it. I like the direction, at least in some ways.
Well, I wouldn't say that everyone disagrees with you on Battlefield.
I mean,
There's
like
definitely a
the
lot of people
old
that are.
populace, I should say, because I played the old Battlefields. I played most of them, and I enjoyed them to an extent. It's just there was things that irritated me about them. They're kind of addressing things that irritated me, but it's affecting everybody else's, like the old group of people that enjoyed classic Battlefields opinions. So, but I want them to prove me wrong with Redfall. It'd be cool to see something work in that regard, but to me it feels like it needs to be on rails.
Yeah, we'll probably see next E3 when they I bet this is going to be a large gameplay section during their E3 presentation next year,
Yep.
closer to when it releases.
Right.
All right, well that's gonna do it for Xbox and Bethesda.
Oh my god, that was so much.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's close out now on Square Enix.
Power through. Got this.
Power through Square Enix real quick. There's actually not very much for us to go over here. Um, they led off with Guardians of the Galaxy, which has been rumored for a long time.
Weird to me.
Interesting in that you're only playing as Star-Lord. All the other people are there, obviously, because you can't have Guardians of the Galaxy without all the Guardians, but like you're not playing as them. It's not an Avengers type experience, right?
Yeah.
You're only playing as Star-Lord. He is your one character. You have like team up moves kind of, and like can call out moves from the other Guardians, but you're not playing as them.
Square Enix game. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Looked pretty good. The action looked pretty decent.
Was it just
It
me, or did Star-Lord's voice sound like Aaron's anime protagonist voice?
maybe a little. I didn't notice it.
It struck me so hard because like I'm so used to Chris Pratt's voice for him, and I'm like sitting there like, come on, Rocket, dude. Like, what? This feels weird. So that was my only critique that was against it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of this gameplay trailer. I was like, whatever, but that really kind of threw me off a little bit. I think the voice actor is kind of funky, but maybe the original concept for Star-Lord is much more like that, not necessarily surfer dude, but California laid back chill guy. So maybe I just missed something.
Also looks like there might be some like loot elements or something. They didn't really like mention any of that, but during the gameplay I noticed you beat a dude and glowing things pop out of it onto the ground in
Yeah,
various colors
I did see that
that
too.
appear to be rarities. So, maybe it has loot. I don't know. They didn't really show that much
It was a lot
of
of
gameplay,
cutscene
considering,
choices.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Mass
it
Effect
was
stuff.
the whole beginning part of it, of like the gameplay reveal, air quotes here, which did have gameplay to be fair, but like the beginning, like 2.5, 3 minutes of it was just cutscene,
Yeah.
like in-game cutscene. I don't know. I don't know. It looks all right. Comes out really soon. Comes out, unless I have this wrong and wrote it down wrong. It comes out this October, close to like Halloween. Yeah, October 26th, 2021. So, kind of surprised this didn't get like leaked in a grander fashion previously,
It's
considering it comes out so soon.
it's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like it's popular, but it's kind of like not their cash cow, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me.
Uh, Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. They
I know there's a
remaster of
lot
Final
of people sitting
Fantasy
in there excited for this.
1 through 6. Well, there's a lot of people excited. Also, a lot of people disappointed
Yeah.
because it appears to only be on Steam and mobile.
Lol.
So no Switch, no consoles,
Yeah, that's weird.
whatever.
Why? Like, why not Nintendo? That makes zero sense. I think it will be introduced to Nintendo later. I think maybe it was a Steam power move because Steam realizes now that, Epic is actually a thing and kind of destroying them in some ways. And then EA with their new EA Play desktop app is doing really well now too. And then Blizzard, Activision's doing really good with their thing. So it's like Steam had to step up their game. And if that's what they did here and they reached out to Square Enix, then good for them. I think it will come out on Nintendo later after enough people ask for it, and Nintendo's like, "Oh, we need this too." I think it needs to come out on PlayStation as well.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna keep burning through this pretty quickly. Avengers. They showed off the next couple content drops for Avengers. It's like whatever. Showed off a trailer for War for Wakanda. Looked fine, I guess. It was a cinematic trailer. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
as somebody who has like absolutely no affinity for the Marvel like movies and stuff, it's like, all right, cool, Black Panther. Like,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, I like Black
You
Panther. I
get to
think it's
see
really cool.
Wakanda in like their kind of like rendition of Wakanda,
Yeah,
and you get to see the villain whose name is Claw, right?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about this Avengers game. I feel like
I think we beat it to the ground. How much
they're
we
just,
have distaste for this one.
well, I don't know. I don't have a distaste for it. I'm just incredibly indifferent towards it. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it was a, looking at it from the outside, right? It looked like they could have done something closer to like Spider-Man
Yeah,
for the one on the PlayStation
yeah. We definitely like talked about it pretty
by
extensively, and
Insomniac.
uh,
Yeah.
if you like it, then this will be for you. Glad they're doing more. Like at least they're trying to do more for it. So
Yeah,
enough for
it's
them on
more than you can say for EA and Anthem, I suppose.
that. Damn.
I don't know. It's just very much a like it's another example of like don't try to turn your game into a live service RPG
Just because you
if
want to, or
if your team isn't passionate about making a live service RPG,
no.
right? Like the reason that Destiny worked and was successful is because the team making it wanted to make Destiny. They wanted to make a loot-based games as a service. And that was their plan from the get-go, and they built the game around it. And even then, Destiny had tons of faults and struggled significantly at multiple points in its life cycle. Um, and yeah, you know, with things like Anthem and Avenger, I think you get that case of people wearing suits who are like, you need to make this game like this because this is the type of game that sells. And because of it, the core elements of what needs to be there to make a satisfying loot RPG experience just aren't there because the people who are making it don't have a passion for that style of game and those gameplay systems.
Exactly. No, I agree with you 100%.
They announced a Hitman mobile game, which caught me off guard because I was like, oh yeah, that's Hitman. Square Enix technically still owns the mobile rights to that. So like Hitman's in this weird place where it's like the maybe I'll look it up because I might be off about this. But I want to say the like part of the IO leaving Square Enix deal was that they got to keep the Hitman Sniper franchise, which is like part of but distinct from the mainline Hitman franchise.
I don't know anything about the Hitman stuff, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna defer to whatever you say for that. But I'm cool with a sniper game that's not Sniper Elite. Sniper Elite is a bane of my existence because I love sniping so much, and I tried, and there's just something off-putting about it. But I think this will be, hopefully, we'll have some good element to it.
Yeah. And of course, this will be like a mobile game. So, you know, moving your phone around with the scope or whatever. And
game. Okay.
yeah.
That's a big difference.
Well, they've already done one of these. This is a sequel to that. But yeah, I don't know. The only reason I put it on here is just because I thought it was weird and interesting. Because like IO Interactive is a separate, like they've separated from Square Enix and just recently put out a Hitman game that has nothing to do with Square.
But yeah,
So, oh wait, no, you know what? I'm getting things confused. It is still confusing, but it's even more confusing than I thought it was. So that's right. Because I was thinking in my head, I was like, wait, where does Warner Brothers fit into this? Didn't Warner Brothers put out Hitman 2? Yes, because I want to say Square put out Hitman 1, and then Warner Brothers put out Hitman 2.
Uh-huh.
And then IO self-published Hitman 3.
Okay.
So like the 3 Hitman games over that trilogy were published by 3 different entities.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Because yeah, like I said, they were owned by Square Enix until 2016.
Right.
So, and as part of that, they still own the rights to the Hitman Sniper series, spin-off series, which is distinctly different somehow, right? I don't know. It just confused me when I heard
so it's not even
Diana.
the same studio. It's like a different studio.
Different studio, yeah, entirely different studio.
Crazy.
But
okay,
yeah, when I heard Agent 47's handler's voice, I was like, what is happening here? And I remembered, oh yeah, that's right. They still own part of this franchise for in some weird way. Whatever, weird. Interesting that we don't see mobile games as much nowadays.
Slowing down a
You
little
see,
bit.
yeah, you used to see tons of mobile games during these press conferences, and now you barely see any of them.
Oh yeah, what was it? 2, 3 years ago, it was literally 90% of some of the conferences were
Yeah.
mobile. I'm like, ew. So thank God that's going away a little bit. I think they want to gear towards the heavy or the, hardcore gamers again. But yeah,
All right, we're coming to a close here pretty soon. We only got a couple more. Babylon's Fall. This is a game that they showed again last year, I think, being made by Platinum. Didn't really get a whole lot of it when they first showed it. Now we know, and I'm not sure, they might have reworked it in the time since. It is now a co-op, like 4-player co-op character action game, action RPG. There's loot, and it is a games as a service. Um, yeah, a lot of people have been put off by this news, because Platinum is known for their single player character action experiences
yeah,
of things like Nier and Bayonetta.
yeah.
Um, but, and admittedly, I will say that the combat in the new trailer that they showed is maybe not quite as fluid as the first trailer that they shown for the game. But I still think it looks pretty neat. And I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. A lot. Go ahead.
It puts a hole in the theory that they're probably working on Bayonetta 3 too, because if they're working on this, and probably not. Or is that
Well, I mean, it
Platinum,
depends
right?
on how
And then
large the studio is, right? Because
right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just like made this
Is there a separation
and
between Platinum and Platinum Plus? Because I think Platinum Plus is the one that works on Bayonetta.
no, it's just Platinum.
Okay, I
There's
wasn't
only one
sure.
Platinum. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a relatively large studio, right? So they can,
Yeah, they've been around for what,
make a lot of different
30 years or
games
something. So
at once. It's
true.
they're not the type of studio that's like only ever working on one game at any given time,
Yeah.
right? So I guarantee that Bayonetta is still being worked on and is I don't know if I'm going to say close to being finished, but
We'll see on Tuesday where it's at, or it's
yeah,
tomorrow,
right.
Monday.
We still have the Nintendo presentation to see.
Right. So
So,
I'll tell you how hyped we are after that.
but I don't know. I think that there's some neat things going on here. I think that the kind of idea of like how the characters have like spirit weapons almost is a neat element. Um and I don't know, yeah, most of what you're saying is people complain and like crying because it's a live service game and stuff like that. And they were expecting, rightfully so, probably a more linear standard um Platinum Games affair.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at
I don't
least
know.
they did it with a new IP rather than an old one.
As somebody who likes RPGs, um, like more than character action games, I'm actually more interested in this game than I probably was before.
Yeah. So I think that's what they're trying to do too. They're trying to appeal to a different audience with
Yeah,
this one.
but see, that's the thing, right? And it goes back to what we mentioned earlier about it being like a little bit of everything for everybody. And sometimes things are disappointing, right? So it's like there's tons of people who are super disappointed with the direction that Babylon's Fall has ended up in. Whereas like me now, I'm kind of more interested in it because before it was just doing something that most of those other games did, and now it's something that is a little bit different that appeals to me a little bit more,
Right.
right? But like I'm in the same boat that those people are in with like Battlefield, where I'm sure there's tons of people like yourself who are more interested now in what Battlefield is doing with their changes, whereas like I'm completely put off by it. So,
Right. No, I can get that too.
uh,
So, all depending.
so we'll have to see with that one as well how the actual like shakeout of combat ends up working and stuff like that. Um, I didn't read a date down for that, so I'm gonna assume there was no date for that. All right, we're gonna close out now with the last two things. Life is Strange Remastered Collection. It's Life is Strange, but it looks a little better. So if you want Life is Strange, but it looking a little bit better, then that's what you're looking for.
Just get the collection. It will be nice, and it will be a lot cheaper than getting them individually. If you haven't gotten the collection already, I recommend it. It is a very depressing game series for anyone that hasn't been able to play it yet, but it is a very unique spin on the genre of like storytelling and making like decisions with a little bit of interactive gameplay where like you do things to the environment to affect how the game is played. And it will be a perfect lead into the next one, True Colors, if you want to pick up the series now.
I said two things. There's actually three
There's
things.
three.
Now
Yeah, I
two
was about to
things.
say. It's fine.
Now there's two things
Yeah, we're
because
good.
we're going to move on to Life is Strange True Colors, which is the new one, which I don't think we have to say much about. They've shown this game many times at this point, and it comes out very soon. Comes out on the 10th, actually. Not the 10th of, I don't know, 10th of, no, September.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
So a
why I
couple
just said
months.
the 10th. Yeah, the 10th of September.
Sometime, some
It's
10th.
not it's not super soon, but you know,
That's
it's within
pretty
the next 3
quick
months.
considering E3 is right
Um,
now. So yeah.
and yeah, they've shown it plenty of times. You play as a character named Alex. She's an empath. You can like see auras of emotion around people. So it looks like this game's gonna have a much different kind of gameplay loop of meeting or like kind of like finding people and like getting their auras off of them and kind of figuring out what's going on with them and like what their problem is to help like unravel the larger mystery.
Right. And one thing I thought was really cool is I wonder how they're gonna do this. In the trailer today that they put out is that her like saying, "Should I absorb that anger, and what will it do to me, and what will it do to them?" So like, will that have some sort of butterfly effect in the game for your character and your decision options, and then also how it affects the other characters and what their decisions are made. So I didn't know about that, and I think that's really cool. I think she's going to be one of the most dynamic and interesting characters in the Life is Strange series because of that.
All right, like we said, that's coming out September 10th. Also, oddly enough, the Life is Strange remake remaster collection, remaster collection, not a remake, comes out after True Colors.
Oh, that's a dumb move.
The remaster comes out on the 30th. So if you buy the like, I think if you, I don't know if it's the base edition. I think it might be like the larger edition of True Colors. You get the remastered collection as part of it
That's
when
so
it does drop.
weird. Do you think that they'd
But
release it beforehand so you could get like hyped for it and do the whole?
yeah,
That's a dumb move, my opinion.
yeah, you
But
think yeah. All right.
whatever.
So now we're actually go to the actual last thing, which I don't really think we have much to say about. They announced Final Fantasy Origin,
It was
or
literally just
I'm not sure what it's called. I don't know if it's called Stranger of Paradise colon Final Fantasy Origin,
It's Stranger
or
of
if it's
Paradise, and I think it's like just an origin story for Final Fantasy, so it's like a sub
well,
genre
no.
text.
So it's the plot of the first game.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
I
set in
misunderstood that.
the world of the first game. Um. Anyway, it's a character action RPG made by Team Ninja, the studio behind Neo. Um,
I just thought it was
Art
funny.
designed by Tetsuya Nomura, who you know from being the boy who does the Kingdom Hearts designs.
Yeah, it seems very Kingdom Heartsy.
And you can tell. I don't know. I kind of
I'm indifferent
I
usually.
have a weird feeling about a lot of the like design of and it's weird, right? And I'll mention there wasn't any Final Fantasy 16 at this show, which is possible because there's speculation that there's going to be a Sony show pretty soon,
Yeah.
and it would likely be at that. Um, but man, there's just a disconnect between like I can't get over looking at like Nomura has this incessant need to have like bros just wearing regular clothes in like a like fantasy world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's like knights with armor and stuff like that. And you just got a dude with like a button up thermal. And it's such a like visual disconnect
Yeah.
that I just can't take it seriously.
No, I can understand that. It's entirely understandable, and like I what really kind of threw me off in the trailer is like every 2 seconds they were showing off that like crystallization ability where like they just turn them into like ice crystal type things and they smash them into the ground or rip them apart. And it's like I get that's a selling point for you guys and you want it to be really cool, but who cares? Like, stop
Too much
showing
of
it
it.
over and over again. Yeah, just like show me something quick. This is one of the examples of we understand what Final Fantasy is at this point. You can show me something really quick. I don't need a 10-minute trailer or however 4-minute trailer to show me, oh, this is the new Final Fantasy game that's coming out sooner or later. Like, show me a minute and a half. This is one of the few games where I actually wouldn't mind less. But I know some Final Fantasy people are like, no, we need more, and that's fine. I'm happy for you guys. I can tune out. I understand your standpoint. I can just leave. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I get it. It's Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So I don't know. Other than that, other than like the character designs, I actually think that the gameplay looks pretty interesting. They showed off what appeared to be a few different classes with some different weapons. There's like a big sword, a dragoon lance. Looked like there was a moment where you could see the main character as a black mage. Um, I wonder if it's going to have any co-op elements, but the fact that it seems like it's kind of more of like named characters and stuff makes me think that probably not.
No. I think it's going to be more like Final Fantasy X and 7 and stuff like that, where it's your
Just with a
protagonist
more
or your
action-oriented gameplay loop.
Yeah. So cool. We made it. That the list
Yeah.
is crazy, man. Lot of shit for everyone to check out. Highly recommend looking at the VODs on the things that you guys are interested in. Check out the timestamps here on wherever you guys are watching or listening to this. And then you can get kind of like snippets and do more in-depth research on it for anything. But thanks for sticking with us if you did.
Yeah. This is definitely a long one. There was a lot of stuff to go over. But yeah, it's always exciting when E3 is happening. There's always so much stuff getting announced, so much stuff to look forward to. And like I said, we are probably going to have another part to this E3 extravaganza coverage next weekend that'll encompass the Nintendo showcase and a little bit more, some other things that haven't happened yet. So we haven't been able to see them to talk about them. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for listening to us here on the Phat Peeps. And definitely catch us next week because we're going to be talking about more stuff that is being announced from E3. So,
Appreciate it, everyone.
thanks everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye. Ho ho ho.